Hello and welcome to today's reading. I am LeeApocrypha and it is a pleasure to meet you. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider sticking around and joining the Soul Family. If you are returning, welcome back, Soul Family. I love you guys. Hugs. Alright, so today we have a message. It's going to be a shorter one. There are going to be 3 piles. The other night, I was sitting at my altar and I felt called to pick 3 random crystals or minerals from anywhere in my collection, in my room at all. And so these are the 3 that came to my mind. So for pile number 1, we have malachite. I'm sorry if I'm pretty fast today. I do have some stuff to do later. So we have malachite. I call this my malachite claw for pile number 1. And each of these are very different minerals, very different sizes and shapes and colors. So this one was from that side of my room. So this is pile 1. So for pile 2, we have here amethyst, an amethyst cluster. Now, this cluster is from this side of the room, and I'll mention more about this cluster in the pile selection. So, or within the pile. So we have pile 2. And for pile 3, this was at my main altar, and this is snowflake obsidian. Alright, so I will be pulling 3 tarot, technically 4 with the Dark Goddess Tarot, and then a Witch's Oracle today. So let's jump right in and get started. So information, disclaimers, index will always be in the description box down below. If you need to or want to have a look, please do so. And if it's your first time ever watching a reading, please at least read the disclaimer so you have an idea of how it works. Alright, so let's get on to pile number 1. So if you selected pile number 1, hello, this is your reading. Welcome. So first of all, I'm going to read a little bit into this crystal, or mineral, I should say. This is malachite and it is green. Green is the color of the heart chakra. Malachite is also really known to help with change and transformation. Thinking about its shape, kind of like a hook or like a claw, is making me think of go out there and get what it is that you want. Get what it is that you need. Utilize your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your whatever you have in order to make it happen. So that is a little message I have from the malachite here. So let's begin with your tarot. Ooh. For your first card, we have the Knight of Swords. So immediately that's making me think of what I was just saying about going after what it is that you want, to go out there and get it. We have the 3 of Pentacles, which is about working with others in order to manifest what it is that you desire. Okay, this is about manifestation. It's about taking action towards your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. If you want let's say for example, you work for a company that you need to apply for a higher position, then do it. Don't expect it to fall on your lap like without you having to go through the application process and hiring process just like everybody else, just because you're already working there. No. If you want the higher position, show the effort, bring in your resume, even if you already know them, even if you're like super close with the boss or something, like take in your resume anyway and be like, I want to apply for the higher position, like let me know when the interview, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? For some of you, I feel like you're in a toxic work environment, or a work environment where you don't feel appreciated or understood, and you may have been feeling called to leave this situation or to go somewhere else. Now, I will never like say like just quit and do nothing. What I'm saying is, like, if you find something else, if you don't want to be where you're at, start looking for other things. Start putting yourself out there. And if you do get, like, let's say an interview for another job, then, you know, see how that goes. And if they tell you you're hired, then put in your 2 weeks notice. But do it right, because you don't want to burn the bridge. You never know. You never know. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And underneath the deck, we have the Death card. So definitely with the Death card, that is really bringing back into our awareness about the Malachite's message of change and transformation. There's something that needs to come to an end here, with some kind of energy that you may have been tired of. Maybe people telling you things or being negative or saying you're not good enough or never really appreciating you. You could be the coworker. You could be the one working there that does everything, and then like you don't get as much gratitude as the person who half-asses their job or something. And that's not right. If you've been feeling led to change, if you've been feeling led to pursue your passion, then do it. But I see here that for some of you, you may be thinking like, oh, well, I can never do what it is that I'm passionate about. I have to stay stuck in this 9-to-5 bullshit. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to stay in that. There are options, especially at this day and age with modern technology. Literally anyone can create a business. Anybody. Really, that's the truth. You don't really have to know shit. Like, you should know a little bit about business before jumping into that. But like, let's say you're an independent artist, or you like to create jewelry, or you're a tarot reader or something like that. Like, you don't need anyone else's approval to start putting that work out there. If you have social media, start posting about it. If you have like an Etsy or a eBay or whatever the fuck, like make your own website or something. To me, I'm seeing that for some of you, you kind of want to move away from the traditional work environments and you want to pursue something, but there's that fear of not being good enough or not having enough skills or talents or finances or whatever it is. Start slowly. Nothing happens overnight, right? I just saw in my head like a garage band, like a group of friends, a group of people that meet in their garage to practice their music. Like, that's how it starts. If you're in a band and you guys really want to put yourselves out there, start going to venues and meeting the people that own the venue. Start talking to them, be like, hey, you know, this is the kind of music that we play. Show them some of your EPs or whatever, show them some of your music, and be like, is there any way that we can, you know, if there's any shows that you're hosting or something, blah, blah, blah. Start doing that. If you hear about, like, let's say your band is like a rock band and you know that there's like this rock house place or bar and grill or something like nearby that they like for local people to perform, then meet them, talk to them, start going and interacting with people, and you'll start putting yourself out there. Nothing happens overnight. No matter how big of a band somebody is, or like no matter how big a band is these days, they started in their garage. All right? I don't know any band that was so lucky to start off in like a producing studio or something, unless maybe their parents are producers, but that's very unlikely. You know what I mean? Even then, they have to use their venues and their space for their work and for other people that they work with, produce music for, whatever the case is. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you are artists, musicians, talented like people, dancers, creators. I heard like cooking or chef. Like, you want to create, you want to add your beautiful creative passion into your work, but where you're working you feel like shit, for some of you, then try to figure out a way on how to start moving towards what it is that you want. And again, I feel like for some of you, you're struggling to see that it's even possible, but just remind yourself, everyone who's known as the big groups, or like whether they're artists or they're musicians or they're choreographers or whatever the case is, everyone starts at the bottom. Everyone starts as a nobody. And I feel like that's something that you may call yourself, because that word just came up in my head, like nobody. I'm a nobody. No, you're not. You are somebody. I saw 1132, and 123 to me is like a new beginning. Having the death card here is saying you must go through a transformation in order to, and look, here's the Hierophant underneath, pursue, utilize the knowledge and the skill, the talent that you have. Pursue what it is that you feel guided to do. 5 is the number of change. And yes, this could be about institutions, this could be about other things like that. But the way that I'm seeing it here is that after a transformation, you will come into alignment with your purpose. That is how I feel it. That is how I feel it's coming through, okay? So I'm sorry if you can hear any background noises. I can't do anything about that. So now we're going to move on to the Dark Goddess Tarot. And again, I'm sorry if I'm speeding through this reading today. I do have some very important things to do soon. So let's see what goddess comes out. And I will be reading from the book about this goddess and her message. Which goddess has a message for us today? We have, excuse me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Lorelei. Underneath, I'm not going to read into this one, but if you want to look further into this, I just saw 13, by the way. 13 is the death card about change and transformation. Oya, Witch of Air. This is the goddess Oya, the Witch of Air. Okay. So, Lorelei, 2 of water. Okay. 2 of water. So this is the 2 of cups. So let's see what this goddess, what her message is for us today. This is a new deck, so I'm still, like, I barely got it recently. 2 of water. So, German spirits of eternal desire. The deeper you go, the harder your heart will beat. Interesting. And I did notice the skulls here as well. Okay. So, Lorelei is a siren who sings. In the stone of the cliffs along the Rhine River, luring German boatmen to join her in an eternal embrace, A maiden of most alluring beauty, she ends her human life by throwing herself into a river in despair over love, and is transformed into the song and spirit of desire. Her desire and her betrayal are twofold. For the sailor who is her one true love is faithless, and he abandons her after the consummation of their desire. Lorelei is also betrayed by the many men of her village who desire her. She does not try to seduce them, but they cannot resist her loveliness. Because Lorelei is lovely, open-hearted, and generous, she does not resist their advances, and she is the one blamed for the subsequent scandal and disgrace. That's fucked up, man. I fucking hate that shit. Don't get me started on that shit, okay? I'm sorry. Man. Accused of witchcraft, she is brought before the bishop. His severity breaks down under her beauty and sweet simplicity, but when he would set her free, she begs instead to die. For if love has forsaken her, if strife is all that comes to her in the name of love, she would rather not live such a life. The bishop instead rules that she enter a convent. 3 kings are sent to accompany her there. When her path leads them past the high cliff overlooking the Rhine, Rhine, Lorelei asks to have one last look. The knights cannot deny her. They tether the horses, and the 4 of them climb to the top. At the edge of the precipice, Lorelei cries out, seeing her arrogant sailor lover on his boat in the river below. At her cry, he looks up. His boat founders at the same moment as she leaps, and the lovers are finally and forever reunited in death. Wow, I got chills. When Lorelei appears, so this is her message. Rationalizing your desire does not make it rational. Do not try. Reason may speak to consequences of behavior, but not to why or where to love. Be honest with yourself, if with no one else, about what you deeply yearn for. Allow yourself to yearn deeply. You are not avoiding pain by denying love, but making life colder. Death lies at the end of every road. Make the journey a passionate one worthy of song. Beware of projecting your passion onto someone else. Own your desire. Putting responsibility for it into another is another form of denial. Your heart is the generator of your personal electromagnetic field. Feel how every beat increases the power of your aura, charisma, magnetism, and power to attract your desire to you. Open your heart to the variety of possible expressions of desire. Release expectation over the form of which love should appear. Reach for the essence of the other being with the essence of yours. Wow. That's really sad. What I'm getting from this is, the part that sticks out to me the most is how she was yearning so much for someone who pretty much was never there for her. She would much rather take her own life hoping to get him instead of learning to love herself and finding true love. But it is difficult because, understandably, people were so attracted to her beauty. And a lot of times there are people that only see you for your body or for your external beauty instead of getting to know you for who you really are. There are people that might make advances towards you who may want to get into your pants, for example, without even really getting to know who you are and showing you the respect that you deserve. There may be some changes that need to come about when it comes to your heart. It mentioned about the heart center being the focal point of where the aura exudes from. The heart chakra is the center point within the 7 chakras. They say the heart is the portal, the gateway. This is making me think back to follow your heart. Follow your heart, pursue what it is that you love, despite what other people say, despite what other people think. It's important to have stability, but if you want to start doing something else, you can start to make changes in your life to incorporate that more. Let's say you happen to have more days off this week or next week or something, then give some of that extra time to what it is that you want to be devoted to and dedicate yourself to and manifest in your own life. This being, again, with the skulls here, making me think of death and transformation. She leaped from the cliff out of sorrow. Remember, there's always a way. There's always an option. There's always another way. Don't tie yourself down to people, places, and things that don't show you reciprocity. And this ties back into when I mentioned earlier about a career. You may be in a job where you are unappreciated. I see a lot here about change and transformation. You are trying to let go of the past, let go of the challenges at work or at home, or with family or a partner, in order to pursue what it is that you really love. But you have to give that love to yourself first. You have to be devoted to yourself first. You have to show yourself appreciation first. Despite whatever anyone else thinks or says, you give it to yourself because you know you deserve it. And if you don't know you deserve it, then now you know. And don't forget it. There must be changes in order for you to come into alignment with what it is that you're really seeking and what it is that you really desire. Okay? I got chills. That's a really sad, story. Wow. To be blamed. Okay, this card was gonna slip out. Okay, I might pronounce this incorrectly. Underneath we have candle, illumination, and that is exactly regarding to what we were just talking about. If you want to come into alignment with what it is that you desire, you need to create changes, which, interestingly enough, the card that slid out was this one, which I will most likely pronounce incorrectly. Neoplith. Excuse me if it's incorrect, but this is the card of study. And then underneath, again, candle for illumination. So this is how I'm seeing it. And this is literally what I'm seeing here. And then look, healing. There's a mermaid here. This is Gaia, number 7, healing. Making me think of this goddess here. It mentioned her being like a siren. And here we have this mermaid as Gaia as this mermaid, okay? So, this is the study, is the death card, and the illumination is the Hierophant. So it's like within these two cards on both decks is the same message that I'm getting, in a way. There are things you need to face. You need to look in the mirror and you need to transform. You need to let go. You need to heal. There's healing that needs to be done, especially here with Malachite being about change and transformation, but also being the color of the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is the center point, the ripple, right? There needs to be change and transformation in order for you to illuminate yourself, in order for you to feel free. You are beautiful. You are knowledgeable. You do have what it takes, but it takes little steps, one step at a time. Okay? If you are a practitioner and you've been wanting to do candle magic, then do candle magic. If you've been feeling like that is something that can help you, then do it. Perhaps release work at during a full moon. Scrying could be something, either scrying within reflective surfaces such as mirrors, water scrying, crystal gazing or something, you know. You want to be free, you want to expand, then you have to go within. As within, so without, as above, so below. The number 1 and 6, 16, when added together, 1 and 6 make 7. Gaia is 7. 7 is a number of spirituality, a number of your path. 4 is about stability. Illuminate your path by going in through your darkness. If that makes sense, then that message is for you. If that doesn't make sense, I encourage you to explore it. Either way, I feel like this is saying to understand and see that despite the darkness within and externally around you, acknowledge the light and the beauty and the rainbow and the aura and everything that exists within and outside of you. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for you yourself, putting in the work and the effort, for you being responsible, for you being on your shit. Okay. So I'm going to end this reading with some numbers. Let's see, I'm going to pick 3 random dice and I'm going to roll. Okay. Oh, 1 fell. It's bouncing around. Okay, so we have 3 in reverse. We have 20 sideways. And let's see what else. Where is it? We have number 11, but number 4 stuck out to me. Number 11, but number 4 stuck out to me. And that was kind of upright, okay? So the number 11 to me is correlating here to the Hierophant and the illumination. This is about your purpose. This is about your connection, your divine connection. And that doesn't have to mean like a connection with somebody else. I'm saying like within you, your own connection. But take it as it resonates, okay? This is about coming into alignment, becoming more aware. The 20 here is making me think of 10-10. 10 is the end of a cycle. With every end, there is a new beginning, a possibility, I should say, a possibility of a new beginning. Because there are times that we may get to the end of something, but then we fall back and repeat cycles. So the 20 is making me think of cycles. What cycles are you stuck in? And it's interesting because the way that it is, there's an 8 right below the 20, and the 8 was peeking out at me and just mentioning about cycles even more so. Be aware of the cycles that you perpetuate in your life, consciously or subconsciously. And be aware of what it is that you're manifesting in your life. Okay? There are changes that need to be made, healing that needs to be done, healing of the heart, letting go of the past or heartache. You need to appreciate yourself first and foremost. Prove to other people that you deserve it by showing it, by doing that for yourself and not allowing other people who don't treat you correctly, not allowing them to play an important role in your life. Okay? So, thank you so much, pile number 1. I hope that this message resonated and brought you some clarity and perspective into your situation. All right. If you are interested in a personal reading, then please let me know. Okay? My information is in the description box down below. And again, I really hope that this message resonated. Don't be afraid. Know that change is inevitable and change is a necessary part of life. As hard as it may be, as much as we may not want it to be a part of our life, it always will be, and it needs to be. And honestly, the death card is probably my favorite card in the deck. Alright, so thank you so much, pile number 1, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Alright, so welcome, pile number 2. If you chose pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope that all is well. So again, I'm sorry if we move by quickly today. I do have some very important things to do later, so I'm trying to get through this quick. Okay. So I'm gonna first read into the mineral that you chose. I saw 3323. 3 already making me think of manifestation. Having a stone such as amethyst to me is a very magical higher chakra stone. So I'm thinking about manifestation already, okay? Not only that, but this one has an interesting story. So I'm fortunate enough to work at a store that we do sell some crystals, and I do work the day that we receive shipment. So there was one day that we received shipment, and on the cart where they had put some stuff for us to put out, I saw a pile of amethyst clusters. Now all of them look like, I don't have it next to me, but all of them look like regular kind of clusters, but like this one was underneath the pile, but like I could just see like a little part sticking out. And immediately my eyes were so drawn to it that I needed to take a look at it. And this is the beauty that was underneath. Now it's interestingly enough, because I believe that this amethyst that I have may also be a record keeper. It's going to be really hard to see, but there's like some triangular formations. It has a lot of like triangular formations. I know that's how they grow, but there's certain parts of it that they're literally triangles removed. Like you see this right there, that triangle there. Look up record keepers and get some information on that, because you may want to work with a record keeper. Maybe you have one and it's been kind of calling you to work with it, but you haven't, out of fear or out of getting busy or doing other things or preoccupied. Work with it. It has a message for you. Yeah, this one has a lot of triangles, and triangles have 3 points. They have 3 sides, which again, 3, like I mentioned earlier actually, is to me the number of the magician. It is a manifestor type of energy. So amethyst is really good for protection and really good for working with the third eye or higher chakras. Excuse me. This one does have some black speckles on it. If you have been going to a Reiki practitioner or practicing Reiki on yourself or something, there's something here about like your auric field having blockages. I just got chills. I know, like, these little black specks are giving me that message of protect your aura, your auric field. Be aware of who's around you. Be aware of people that might leech off of your energy. Be aware of the energy that you are exuding. I feel like for some of you, this may be the pile of practitioners that have like a more spiritual based business or that want to create that, maybe tarot readers or Reiki practitioners of different varieties. But I feel like this is a in spiritual variety. I feel a message of there's something that that you've been feeling led to tell somebody, something that you have come across, some knowledge that you may have received during a meditation or during one of your practices, a ritual perhaps. Perhaps someone came into your mind while you were performing this ritual and there was a message that Spirit has for them, but you're afraid to convey that message, to pass that message on to them. You will know when the time is right, I heard. But don't be afraid. Be gentle, but be stern. You will know what to do. That message is important for this person, and it can literally change their life. Do not be afraid whether the message you have to share with them, they become upset or not. Don't be afraid, because that message will change their life. Yesterday I started watching a reading, and the reader, something that she mentioned is that back then, before she became a reader or earlier on in her practice, she went to a high priestess to get a tarot reading from. And this high priestess during the message was, talking about life, talking about spirituality, talking about all these other things. But the tarot reader that I was watching, who went to get this reading from this high priestess, she said, I wanted to know so much about love. All I cared about was love. And she was talking about everything else but what I wanted her to get at. So eventually she did mention about love, and all she had to say, which I'm quoting her, not verbatim, okay? I'm paraphrasing her. She said, I just wanted to know about love. And when she finally got to love, all she had to say is, you're blocked. And I was so offended. That's what she said. She said she was so offended by what this tarot reader said that she just kind of up and left. she was kind of like, how dare you? How do you have the audacity to do that? But then in the future, not too long after, she eventually got in a relationship with somebody, and she could see how she was blocked and how it was affecting the relationship. The reader had a message for her that she did not want to hear, but it was a message that she had to hear. So no, sometimes, and I feel this too, look, I'm getting chills. I feel this too. Sometimes I come off in my readings very like blunt, because I can be a blunt ass bitch, but that's who I am. I'm not the kind of reader that's gonna like, oh, but don't worry, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. There are gonna be messages that people don't want to hear, that they have to hear. It will stay in their mind until they're ready for it. Even if they hear the message before they are ready, even if they become offended and they hate you for it, in the future they're gonna see you were right, and then they're gonna be grateful, and they're gonna realize, wow, I was acting like such a dick about it when it was literally what I had to hear, and I didn't want to hear it, so I was being negative. There's a message some of you want to convey, or perhaps you're a reader and you don't want to step on people's toes. You got to bring it up. You got to bring it up. If you don't, that person can miss out on a message or an opportunity that they could have that may be very important in their life. We are all connected. When we share our energy, we are connected. There are things you want to share with people that you know they may be offended, and they may end up hating you for it. Well, you know what? Let them know anyway. What they do with that information is on them. That is their responsibility. When you share the message with them, you're doing your part. You are a spiritual leader, because spirit, your gods, your goddesses, your ancestors, your whoever the fuck, your angels, your demons, whatever you work with, they speak through you because you have the awareness of sharing those messages. When there are other people that are sleeping that don't have the awareness, or it's not that they don't necessarily, it's that they may deny it or may not realize that's their higher self talking to them, or they may not understand that, but you do. So why are you, I feel like there's someone who's a tarot reader, for example, you'll be giving messages to people, but you're not telling them what they need to hear. You're telling them what you know or what you feel they want to hear, so that you get good reviews or good pay or whatever the case is. Be real. That's toxic. That is toxic within the spiritual community. If you're sharing messages just because people want to hear it, if that's not the message for them, then that's not the message for them. Don't sugarcoat it, because Spirit is saying they need to know this, and you're like, oh, but I don't want to mention that because then they're going to get in a bad mood and then they might walk out on me. So the fuck what if they walk out on you? That's the message that Spirit is telling you to share with them. Then share it. If they're not ready to hear it, then they're not ready to hear it. The seed will be planted for the time that they are ready. As a spiritual leader, you have the responsibility of doing what you need to do to help people. It's like, for example, imagine if a counselor had people coming to them, talking to them about stuff, and instead of actually getting to the root of the problem, and instead of actually telling them what they need to hear, imagine letting them just live their life and continuing to perpetuate their negative cycles. Then what's the point in being a counselor? Nothing. Your point is to help, and sometimes you gotta rip off the band-aid to help somebody. You know what I mean? I know that might sound harsh, and like I mentioned, I can be harsh sometimes, but I'm gonna say what I need to say, and that's what it's saying. That's what the message I'm getting for somebody. I feel like that's a very specific message. But let's dive in, because this is that was a very specific message for somebody. If you're a spiritual leader and you're not you're not conveying the messages that you're getting, then you're taking away from somebody else's experience. Okay, that's the message I'm getting. You can potentially plant seeds in people, whether they like it or not, that can help them grow in the future, even if they can't see it yet, even if they don't want to hear it yet. If they need to hear it, it will plant the seed for the future. There's a reason. Oh, you guys, look, High Priestess. High Priestess. Some of you are High Priestess. Some of you, whether you're male or female, have the knowledge or the divine connection. I'm kind of getting chills in my, places are poking out. Okay, so this is the number 2, but this is 11. Okay, so it's 1 and 1. The High Priestess is number 2 in the major arcana, but when it's in Roman numerals, it looks like 2, right? 2. 11 is about connection, amplification, alignment. And I just saw 4611. And 2 is about unity. Okay, we have here about balance. There's this unity. You have the knowledge, the skills necessary to help other people. The High Priestess can either destroy or help create. Okay? That's the thing. I feel like for some of you, you overthink the messages. You overthink it. You may know that you're connecting to source or to whoever, whatever, that there's a message you need to share. But the High Priestess also knows secrets. And so I feel like you hold on to certain secrets that you know you need to share because you don't want to hurt somebody. I heard as if somebody was in response saying, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want them to feel negative after a reading. Then don't end the reading like that. Mention the things that need to change, and then mention like the other things, like know that you are worthy. Know that you are on the right path. You just need to change certain things. Okay? You will know. If you're the High Priestess, you know. You do know. But you're questioning it because you don't want people to think negatively about you, to have negative reviews or something. There are always going to be people, even if you're nice, they're going to be like, I could feel like this person wasn't telling me the whole truth. There's going to be people, whether you try to kiss ass or not, there's always going to be somebody who's disappointed or who doesn't feel like it was whatever. That's, you connect to the energies and you say what you need to say. In my opinion. Okay? You do what you need to do. You do what you do. But in my opinion, that's something that I feel. Like, there are so many times, again, I'll throw myself out there, that I feel like, man, maybe I said that like a bitch, or man, maybe that was a harsh message. But if that was a harsh message, then it was harsh for a reason. Then maybe that was the tough love that somebody needed to hear. And maybe the other readers that they watch or listen to aren't the tough love reader that they need in the moment. Sometimes we need tough love. Sometimes people can be like, oh, that's okay. That's all right. Like, yes, it is. But are you going to tell somebody, like, it happens that we fuck up, but that's not okay. It's not. Stop fucking up. And if you fuck up, we all do every now and then, ask for forgiveness when you fuck up. Acknowledge when you're wrong when you fuck up, but then learn from it. Okay? I don't know. Okay. So we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So again, I feel like there's some messages. Like, I'm seeing this as a seed that is not being planted because you refuse to share the secret that you know you need to share because you know somebody doesn't want to hear it. If somebody gives you the green light to give them a reading, oh, let it out. Everything that comes out, let it out. If they're ready for it or not, that's on them. I know that might sound bad. But the thing is, again, kind of like similar to what that reader that I watched yesterday, she was saying. She was so upset with that reading because she was so offended. But she, in hindsight, realized that everything the reader said was 100% true. Her heart chakra was blocked. She had trouble with her relationship because of that. And because she denied it and because she didn't want to face it, things didn't work out. People are going to be offended over every single little fucking thing, whether they like it or not. Right? It's kind of like a teacher. Let's say you're a teacher and you have a student that they're a really cool person, but they obviously didn't study for their exam and they failed it. Are you going to pass them just because they're cool with you? No. If you did not pass the exam, you didn't pass it, that's on you. I'm not going to pass you just so you can get a good grade if you don't deserve it. It's the same thing. Don't give people a pass just because you want to be nice or you want to be buddy-buddy. No. Be real. Be real, because people need to hear the messages, and some people don't share those kind of messages. It's so common to run across so many love readers out there. And like, I'll be watching, like, there was a time that I was so hooked on love messages and love readings. Well, sometimes I still watch them. Nothing wrong with them. But how many of them, it's kind of like the same messages over and over and over again. Oh, you're going to end up happy and, you know, this and that. That's not for everyone. Because a lot of us are blocked. A lot of us have a lot that we need to work on before we can get to that point. But we need to be made aware. If we are not aware of it, how can we work through it? As a reader, as a counselor, as a teacher, it is our responsibility to make people aware of the things that they cannot. It's not that they can't see it. It's that they don't want to see it. That they choose to be blind and ignorant to it. You read how you want to read. But in my opinion, and how the message that I'm getting, you're not helping them plant the seeds to grow their future. If you're keeping those things a secret from them, because you have the power to do so, if you're the high priestess, whether you're male or female, you have the power to keep the secrets. But as a light worker, or as a dark worker, or as a whatever the fuck you consider yourself, if you want to help people, sometimes you have to be the bearer of bad news. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to be the omen. Like, you know what I mean? If the message is perceived as negative, then maybe that's because things are not in alignment. Share the message and then share with them how they can help themselves. For example, if you find yourself struggling with your heart chakra, and this is stuff that I'm currently working on as well, because my heart chakra, I know, is still blocked. I have trust issues up the ass. I do. And this is something that I'm trying to work on too. It's hard. But you have to dig deep. You have to dig up all the fucking negative bullshit from your past in order to understand why you are the way you are. Why do I have trust issues? Because all these motherfuckers in my past would lie to me, hide shit from me, do shit behind my back that they know I wasn't okay with, for example. That doesn't mean that everyone is like that. But now I have this preconditioned mentality where my ego is trying to protect myself and guard myself to where I feel so easily guarded around everyone. But then how can you live life like that, where you push everyone away? When I was in my depression, I was pushing everyone away. I saw 54-44. And then I saw it change to 45. 5 is about change. 4 is about stability. 4 and 5 make 9. 9 is close to the end of a cycle. But at 9, it's like, are you going to reach the end of a cycle and start anew? Or are you going to revert back to your repetitive cycles? Okay. You have the power to plant some beautiful, powerful seeds in people, whether they want to hear it or not. But if you keep that secret just because you don't want to offend them, or you don't want to step on toes, or you don't want to bring up past traumas or experiences, if you're picking that up in a reading, bring it up. If they want to walk out on you and leave, then let them. But they came to you for you to share a message with them from their spirit guides or their ancestors or whoever the fuck. Then, in my opinion, that means that you have the responsibility to share the message that you're getting. Whether they like it or not is on them. Okay? Let's see. Let's get one more card, please. Ooh. Okay. There was one that flipped out, and there were two. Okay, 3. Underneath is the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Be aware of the seeds that you're planting. Be aware of how you're tending to those seeds. The the Knight of Cups in reverse. You don't want people to perceive you as being heartless. You don't want people to perceive you as, how can I say? Maybe for someone out there, you're trying to do a lot of love readings, but you're getting a lot of like, what's the word? Fuck. My horns came off. Shadow work. Okay, so maybe you do a lot of love readings because you want to, because maybe you see they're popular and love readings get a lot of views. But maybe your skills and maybe your guides want you to do more like shadow work readings or dark readings or readings regarding, past, present, future, or like other kinds of readings, not just love. But perhaps you don't want to because you don't want to step on people's toes, you don't want to bring up traumas or things like that. But again, if there are certain messages that you're not sharing, then you're not helping this person plant the seeds for their future. Okay? With the other cards that flipped upright, I was just going to read those 3, but for you, really fast, we have the 7 of Wands in reverse, meaning releasing guardedness, okay? The King of Pentacles in reverse, making me think of, again, a lack of planting the seeds. And then we have the Page of Cups upright. You will find a way on how to share those messages that you get where it is to benefit people and not destroy them. It's not what you say, it is how you say it, okay? That's what I'm getting here. You may be fighting certain messages that you get and you don't want to share them because you're not sure how to say it. Then ask Spirit or your guides or whoever you work with to speak through you in the way that will help that person. Or connecting with their spirit guides. What is the way that will help this person? You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward to the Dark Goddess Tarot. I will pull one of these and then read the book on it. It will give us some insight on the goddess and it will share a message from this goddess. Okay. Ooh. Whoa, okay, that was weird. The way that came out. She who watches, as soon as that came out, like, I felt chills. It came out, okay, I was shuffling, and then I kind of like went like that on my desk to flatten it out, to straighten it out, and one card just flew out onto my lap. It fell to where I saw it in reverse. I saw it like this, okay? So that is the Hag of Earth. Underneath, I will not read this one, but just in case you would like to look into this goddess, this is Mami Wata, the Three of Water. Mami Wata. Okay. I see a snake here about transformation, okay? But also about alignment, because I just thought of the caduceus and kundalini. So if you've been trying to develop your kundalini, then maybe that's a message for you to do so. We do have amethyst as well, which is about the higher chakras. So this is she who watches. This is the Hag of Earth. Let's see. Hag of Earth. That may be the Queen of Pentacles. Let's see. Hag of Air. Okay, so this is the King of Pentacles. Okay. So, for the King of Pentacles, and this card came out in reverse. This is the King of Pentacles. And we also had the King of Pentacles come out in reverse. So you have the King of Pentacles come out twice. Okay, this is what I'm seeing, all right? Okay, someone's got to hear this. You may not like it, but you got to hear it. So the way that I put down the cards, because I don't use spreads, I just kind of lay them out how I feel. So the three main cards that I was going to read are there. One card slid out, and the other cards were like faced up. I didn't even realize this until right now, but the King of Pentacles was underneath the Page of Pentacles. Both of them are reversed. This card flew out onto my lap in reverse, and this is the King of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, you're really not understanding how you may be robbing somebody of being able to plant certain seeds in their life. You have the knowledge. That is your responsibility to share what they need to hear. It's not about what they want to hear, it's about what they need to hear. Because what they want to hear, they're probably telling themselves all day, every day. What they need to hear, they came to you, or they're coming to you for guidance. Then they need to hear what they're not allowing themselves to hear because of being in denial, or because they don't want to hear it. But it is what they have to hear. Okay? So, that was a little message to reiterate. We have, forgive me, I will most likely pronounce this incorrectly. This is the Chinook Stone Chief. Remember history, or more will be lost. And I mentioned that this, I think, is a record keeper, making me think of history, records, keeping tabs on certain things. Remember history, or more will be lost. If you don't share these messages with people that need to hear them, they can lose out on a beautiful opportunity. They came to you. It's your responsibility to share with them what they need to hear. Or they could miss out on something. Okay? And of course, in the end, their life is their life. But again, if you're a reader or something, or you do something within the spiritual community, and you're keeping that from them, that's robbing them then why are you doing what you're doing? You know what I mean? For real. It's like if a counselor was just sitting there to listen to people and not actually give advice. They just want to, validate other people's perpetuating victimized mentalities. Don't perpetuate victimized mentality. People don't want to hear that they're playing the victim, but they are. If they are, they are. Okay. So, again, forgive me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. Sagaglalal. Sugaglalal. Excuse me. I see Tsaglallal. Okay. Who is known as she who watches is the chief of a peaceful, populous, and prosperous people. For thousands of years, life is good for the people of the many villages around Silio Falls, where the Columbian River cascades from the high desert of the Great Basin into the lush gorge and on toward the sea. The salmon return each year to leap into their nets. Trade in furs, food, and household and sacred goods come upriver from the peoples of the Pacific Northwest. Skins, meat, and more come downriver from the tribes of the plains. Everyone meets where the river shifts and changes, where the river roars over worn hills and ancient stone. Tsagaglalal stands on a bluff high above the river and watches over them all. Then Coyote comes singing. Coyote, creator and trickster and fool. The world is going to change, he sings. How will you be a good chief when the world changes? Sorry about that, my alarm went off. So, how will you be good chief when the world changes? Tsagaglalal replies, I do not know, but I will watch over my people for as long as I can. Coyote hears and then turns her to stone. The world changes. She who watches, she sees a plague of tiny invisible beasts eat up the lives of her people, shatter their civilization, and break the hearts of the survivors. I got chills. If this message has been resonating with you, this is saying you are seeing these things and doing nothing about it. You're seeing these messages that want to come through to these people that you're reading for, if this is your message, and you're not saying it. It's practically like watching people walk into their own death trap. 1,000 or more years pass, and still she watches. She watches as a dam is built, and the waterfalls choke, and the bedrock itself is remade. She watches as her remnant village is drowned entire. All that is rescued are a few pieces of etched and painted stone. Still she watches, although her scattered people must make a journey to come to her now. Still they come, the old ones, the children, and they sit before the old stone chief. They sit in front of she who watches, she who has seen life come and seen life go, she who has seen the world change. The people ask her to see into their lives, to see the suffering they have known, to see the troubles they now face, and to grant them a vision of resolution, wisdom, and strength. She's watching all this shit happen. But perhaps because she's stoned, she cannot reach them. If people come to you and they're asking you for a message, share the fucking message. They could be going through all this shit. Share the fucking message that they need to hear. I'll read that part again. The people ask her to see into their lives, to see the suffering they have known, to see the troubles they now face, and to grant them a vision of resolution, wisdom, and strength. When she who watches appears. So this is the message that she has. Put your trust into what is known to last through the years. The world is changing. Bear witness to what is happening. Carry the story and pass it along. Carry the memory and honor what came before. Wait. Why am I having trouble to read this word? Conscience is a responsibility that lasts a lifetime. There are answers in the past. Dig beneath the surface of what you remember. Look for the seed. Look into when and where the trouble began. If your world can be remade, that is where to begin the building. If it cannot be remade, that is where to say goodbye. Be open to receiving visions. Do not let hope or despair cloud your eyes. Do not let the fear of what other people may think affect your reading, affect your message of what needs to be said. Look for the ordinary symbols in your dreams or reveal depth and meaning over time. To reveal depth and meaning, I'll say that again. Look for the ordinary symbols in your dreams to reveal depth and meaning over time. Remember how I mentioned this reader said that she was really offended over another reader who told her stuff that she didn't want to hear a long time ago? But it literally planted the seed for what she needed to know in the future. Excuse me. Be hard enough to endure, to be strong as a stone. Sit in stillness and hold in your hand a special rock you found along your path. Quietly, calmly, feel its solidity. Feel it gradually warm to your touch. Begin to feel its long, slow life, even as pressure shapes it. As fire and ice crack it, as water erodes it, it remains, it is still strong. Okay. So I'm gonna move on to the, this is the Witch's Oracle. The Witch's Oracle. I still have another pile. We have Holy Water Purification. Holy Water Purification, number 37. Purify this energy of you fearing what people think. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know? It's important for you to realize that there are things that may need to be said to help purify a situation, to help people realize that they need to go within and do the work themselves. It's like, for example, me growing up, I would hear people say, how can you love other people if you don't love yourself? And I hated myself. At a certain point, I hated myself. I'm still learning to love myself. At that point, I was like, what? That's bullshit. Like, whatever. I don't have to love myself. I accept myself. That's fine. That's enough. No, it's not. It's not. It really isn't. Holy water, purification. sometimes the only way for us to really acknowledge and understand something is for us to hear it in the way that needs to be heard and said, in order for it to help plant the seed and purify us. Do it with love. Share these messages with love and not hate. You want to help people, then share it with love. You know, I feel like you may not want to hear this message. I really feel that, but this is what I am hearing that you need to hear. This is what needs to be said. Your spirit guides or whoever, your ancestors, I mean nothing offensive by it, but you need to work on your heart. I saw 808. About cycles. You need to end these vicious cycles so that you can purify your aura. So you could remember how I mentioned about something in the auric field, about blockages, so that you can purify your auric field. I'm sorry again for the cutoff on the video. Another alarm. So that's very important to remember. Okay, and then I just saw 8 again. Okay. So I'm going to pull 3 random dice and then I'm going to roll them to see what we get. Okay, these are the 3 random dice. We have 1, 3, and 6. 6 is sideways, 3 is upright, and 1, even though there's no way to determine whether the 1 is upright or not, I feel it reversed. And then to see 13 right above it, I feel like it's meant to be reversed. Even though that makes it seem like upright, I'm going to read it as reversed because that's how I feel. And with the 13, meaning 13 is the death card, change and transformation. Be aware of the changes. Be aware of certain things that you can, how can I say? 3 and 1 make 4. 4 is about stability. If you had to tell people that there are things that need to end in their life, such as releasing toxicity, releasing, negative, abusive, or toxic relationships, or family members, or something like that is necessary for 3 and 1 making 4 to create stability. 1 is about alignment and amplification. If they want to come into alignment with certain things, they need to create ends to have new beginnings. You cannot have a new beginning without ending something. 3 is the number of the magician to me. It's not literally the number of the magician, but it is magician energy to me, I should say. Reminding them that if they want to create the lives that they want to create, they have to create it themselves. You can't hope and pray and stay on your ass and wish it to come. That's part of the work. The rest is actually making it happen, and the universe will meet you halfway and it will help you make it happen. Number 6 is, okay, interesting. So the number 6 was sideways. It'll be hard to see. But next was 16, and then right on top of it is number 9, and then 19. It was sideways. 6 is the number of love. Interesting, we had about love, mentioning how that tarot reader heard messages about her heart chakra being blocked, and she didn't want to hear it. This is about love. This is about your heart chakra. This is about their heart chakra. Finding balance. 6 is also a number of balance. You need to purify your heart chakra to find balance, because the heart chakra is the center. There are 7 chakras. Which one is in the middle of the 7? The heart chakra. You have the root. You have the sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra. And then you have the throat chakra, third eye, and crown. Which one's in the middle? The heart chakra. The heart chakra is green. It is love. It is the center where things ripple out. We have the heart, the water, symbolizing intuition and love. coming out, rippling effect, creating growth, new transformation. There needs to be a balance. Okay? I feel like maybe we're on the same boat. We're both trying to heal our heart, but we're both readers. There's something trying to help other people. It's hard because we're not perfect. We're never going to be. Just like no one will ever be perfect. There's perfection and imperfection. As long as we strive to become better than we were, that's what matters. And as a reader, it's hard because sometimes we get on ourselves about like sharing a message that may be harsh, or maybe we may not get like people's like feedback and feel like maybe this didn't resonate with anybody. But just because people don't say anything, just because people don't like it, just because people don't comment, just because whatever, doesn't mean that somebody didn't receive that message and have that seed planted. And that's what matters the most. Who cares about the likes? Who cares about the shares? Like, yes, that's nice, and yes, that helps grow the channel, and yes, that helps grow content and whatever, but in the end, our field of work is to plant the seeds to help people grow. That's what matters. That's what's important. And we have to remind ourselves of that sometimes. Okay? So, thank you so much. Pile number 2, I hope that this message resonated and brought you some clarity into your clarity and perspective into your situation. If you ever want to chat with me, let me know. I'm sorry I can be kind of antisocial and like not responsive, but I definitely, like, if this resonated with you and you want to share about that or have a conversation about that, then let me know. So thank you so much. Sorry, got a little watery nose. Thank you so much for being here. I really, truly, deeply appreciate you and everything that you do for everyone around you. Just remember, as a high priestess, we have the responsibility to share the messages that we hear, because it can plant the seeds in somebody whether they like it or not. Just like that other tarot reader that I watched yesterday mentioned that she heard from another tarot reader years and years ago. She didn't want to hear the message, but it's what she needed to hear, and it helped her in the future. As flabbergasted, as offended as she was, in hindsight, she knew that high priestess was right. Okay? So, take it as me, take it or leave it, whatever. It's your path. But that's the message that I got, that I had to share. Alright? So thank you, pile 2. I wish you a lovely day. Take care. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose pile 3, the snowflake obsidian, this message is for you. Earth's scrying. This stone is pretty good for that. The way that it's polished, it does create some illusion. Maybe you're trying to scry, get into that, or some kind of divinatory practice, but you may be confused as to what is illusion and what is truth. I do too sometimes. That's normal. Our ego is going to fight us. Our ego will fight our intuition. But we have to learn to discern the differences. And that's something that I personally am still learning too. Snowflake obsidian to me is a very good balancing stone. Despite the darkness, there is light. It is within the dark that we can see the light. Sometimes things shift and change, and we may feel lighter or darker depending. And by that I mean, I don't really mean that in terms of alignment, but I guess you can, let's say, positive and negative. Sometimes we may feel more positive, sometimes we may feel more negative, but those are always going to be a part of us. That is our human existence. We need to learn positive coping mechanisms in order to help us through the situations where we feel out of balance. Obsidian is a beautiful stone. It is lava glass. It has been through intense heat, and it cools off quickly at the top. I heard crust. It is also a protective stone, but I heard crust. I'm thinking about a shield, thinking about a layer of crust. Underneath, the lava is still molten and hot, but on top, it is a layer of crust because it cooled down. Snow. Maybe you live somewhere that snows a lot. This message may only be for a particular person or a few. Protection, strength. Know your strength. Ground yourself. When you feel unbalanced, you need to find positive coping mechanisms that will help you through those situations when you feel out of balance. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach. I'm sorry if this reading is kind of fast today. I do have some stuff to do, and I'm actually over the time that I had. So let's see what comes out for you, pile 3. Okay. These 2 cards flipped. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse. I thought I saw the the Hermit in reverse, but it was actually the 5 of Cups. So with me seeing that, even though that's not the card that came out, it's making me think of, you may have been trying to learn to scry, or trying to divine, or trying to do something like that. There may be messages coming out when you're alone, or that you feel some guidance from your angels, your demons, your ancestors, your spirit guides, or whatever you work with, sharing certain messages with you, but you're not sitting with yourself enough to work through it and to understand it. This is saying to realize what you have around you, to be grateful for what is around you, but to also be aware of lies, deceit, whether this may be somebody else, but I feel like this is you deceiving yourself or lying to yourself or trying to keep yourself in a space where you feel comfortable. This isn't about being comfortable. This is about doing what you... Ooh, whoa. Okay. Way too many cards came out, but let's see what this card... The 3 of Swords. Alright, I was shuffling, a whole bunch of cards went all over the place. Right here on my arm, I see the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This feels relevant. Like the Hangman in reverse. So we have a lot of messages, but I'm going to have to go through them quickly. I was only going to pull 3 cards, but I'm going to mention these messages, okay? What fell on the floor? We have the 7 of Wands upright, which is about guardedness. And this is in... Oh, there's a bunch right there. Oh, shit. Okay, any other cards? No. Cool. Okay. We'll get to that. Excuse me. So there were some other cards. So these are groups of cards that are coming out in different ways. I'm going to pull the 3 of Swords for you as the part of the main message. And I'm going to talk about these other side messages. Okay. Excuse me. I just saw 1333. I know you're not going to be able to see that number because I have to put the videos together. Unfortunately, my alarm went off and it stops the video instead of pausing it. Anyway, So we have the number 3. 3 to me is the number of magician energy. It's not the magician card, but it is magician energy, about manifestation, about creation. 13 is the number of the death card, which is about change and transformation. Okay, so we mentioned about needing to realize what is around you, realize the people, places, and things that are not honest with you, but also realizing yourself. Realizing when you are denying the truth to yourself. The 3 of Swords, just because it hurts doesn't mean that you should ignore it. It means you should face it, head on. And it's hard and it's scary and it's easier said than done. And I get it because I'm there. I saw 1441. 4 and 1 make 5, 55. 5 is about change. 5 and 5 make 10. 10 is about the end of a cycle. Speaking of cycles, we got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, meaning that you're perpetuating these cycles because you're not facing the truth that is coming to you. You may be denying it. Behind that we have the Hanged Man in reverse and the... Okay, this is exactly what I was saying. I got chills on my legs. Messages are coming to you in your time of meditation, evocation, invocation, your time of scrying or divining. You're not acknowledging them. You're caught up in cycles, the World card in reverse. This, in essence, is saying, if you continue to ignore the messages that you're getting, you're going to miss out on some beautiful things that are happening because you're going to remain stuck in vicious cycles. Face your shit, is what I'm hearing. Face your shit or don't. But if you don't, you're going to cause yourself more heartache, more pain, more confusion, instead of realizing what you do have around you. This is not the 5 of Cups upright. This is the 5 of Cups in reverse. So this is good. I mean, there's no such thing as a good or bad card. It's just positive or negative energy. We perceive it as such, right? This is in reverse, saying acknowledge the beauty around you. Acknowledge what you have around you. Okay? This is saying moving away from that, moving away from lying to yourself or hiding the truth from yourself just because it hurts. This is saying no matter how much it fucking hurts, nothing's gonna change unless you fucking face it. For some of you, this message won't be for everyone, but I heard Belial. So I don't know if some of you work with Goetia, like goetic entities or demons or whatever you want to call them. But if you work with Belial, and I haven't worked with him, to my knowledge, but he is an energy that I have felt like drawn to. Do research, okay? He's not an easy one to work with, that I've heard, okay? He will literally rip apart all of the shit in your life so that you can fucking face it, face your fucking fear, so that you can help yourself move away from the cycles. So if you work with Belial, this is a confirmation. If you don't work with Belial, but you've been wanting to, or you've been really interested in his energy, look into it. Not an easy energy to work with, to my knowledge, based on what I know, but I'm not speaking from experience, so I cannot really say. But I heard Belial, and I didn't hear any other like energies, names in the previous 2 piles, but for yours I heard Belial, okay? And this is obsidian, making me think of the dark side, okay? Face your shit. the message I'm getting from you. If you don't face it, you will continue to repeat vicious cycles in your life, and you will miss out on beautiful opportunities. You will miss out on the blessings that your angels, your demons, your spirit guides, your ancestors are trying to help you come to. But you will not get there if you do not face it. You won't. You won't. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? So, let's see. Let's go through these. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. You've been through some shit. You've been through some shit. Ace of Cups upright. The Fool in reverse. And the King of Pentacles in reverse. Realize what it is that you love and come into alignment with that. Move away from the past, move away from what causes you heartache, move away from what leaves you feeling left out in the cold. But you have to start planting the seeds in your own life to where you move forward and take action towards what it is that you love. If you don't, then shit's not going to change. You're always going to feel left out in the cold, because then you're going to be continuing to miss out opportunity after opportunity because you haven't worked on your heart chakra. Love's going to come and smack you in the face and you can't take it. I don't mean that literally. Okay, I feel like that was a message to somebody. If you're in something toxic and you need to move away from it, move away, because it can get bad. And I don't mean to say this. Okay, I'm going to say this to scare you because it's the truth. I was going to say I don't mean to say this to scare you, but the statistics, and trigger warning, okay? The statistics of people who are in abusive relationships, who stay in the relationship or keep coming back and back and back, end up dead. The statistics are high, okay? I've known somebody that works in the field of helping other people, and they mentioned the statistics are high, and they've even had people that have been in relationships that they end up dead. Okay, of course no names are said or anything, like of course there's confidentiality and everything, but the statistics are really high. I saw 21, 31, making me think 2 and 3 making 5. 5 is about change. To me, if there's an energy of change, like Belial just came back into my mind. Change. There needs to be some change that happens. And interesting, because this energy from all these piles, there's some essence of change needing to happen. Okay? If you want love, then know you deserve respect. You need to give yourself respect, and you deserve respect. Don't be allowing no other bullshit into your life just because you feel like that's all you can get. No. Some motherfucker be treating you like shit. Bye, motherfucker. Bye. You don't need that. And don't allow yourself to think that you do, because then you might end up dead. It's the truth. And you don't want to find out, because you may not even realize it if it were to happen. End the vicious cycles in your life. 2244. It's easier said than done. But things need to come to an end. You need to start facing your shit in order to make changes in your life. So the other cards that came out, we have the 7 of Wands, which is about guardedness. The 10 of Wands in reverse, which is about letting go of burden. The 6 of Cups in reverse. The 6 of Cups is about reunion. It is about balance. It is about love. It being in reverse, it's saying the Magician. Okay. So, where was I? So what I'm seeing with this here, with these 3 cards, the guardedness, and releasing. If you remain guarded, to some aspect you think that you are releasing pain and trauma and different things like that. But really what you're doing is creating an imbalance in your life. 6 is the number of balance, about love. If you want love to come into your life, you need to create balance. Being guarded is not going to create balance. And you might be like, well, I have to watch my back because then people are going to fuck me over if you let them. You don't have to be guarded to keep people from fucking you over. Because whether you're guarded or not, if people are going to fuck you over, they're going to fuck you over. What I'm getting the essence here is stop being guarded. Start opening up. Start working on your heart chakra. If this is resonating with you, I would highly recommend watching one of the other readings. If you felt drawn to one of the other piles, then watch it if you want to. But I feel like it will give more specifics on certain things, especially if it has to do with the heart energy. Okay. You may think that being guarded is going to protect you and save you. It's not. It's going to make things worse. Because then if love comes into your life, you're not going to be ready for it. Because you're going to be so guarded that the opportunity is going to pass you by. You are the magician. Remind yourself of your power. Remind yourself that you are good enough. Do what you need to do to manifest. But you need to release the vicious cycles. I heard Belial again. Snowflake obsidian. I just kind of got this feeling from this stone, like maybe you are allowing certain things to attach to you. People, places, things, energies that don't serve you. Release them. To create space for what does, to create space for what it is that you do need in your life, what can help you, what will help you. Pursue what it is that you love, pursue what it is that you need. But you have to let go. And I will reiterate, this is the main part. These may not have been the 3 cards that came out first, but I feel like this is the main part of your message today, pile 3. If you continue to refuse to face your shit, you will continue to repeat negative cycles, and therefore you will continue to miss out on opportunities. That is very, very important. You need to plant the seeds in your own life. Stop waiting around for other people to do it for you or to do it with you. This is your message. If you feel like it resonates, if it's hitting you, then this is your message. I just heard Belial again. Okay. So let's move on to the Dark Goddess Tarot. I'm going to pull one. We're going to read about the goddess, and then we're going to read her message. Oh, the World card. Okay, so I'm going to... interesting. Okay. So, underneath, I'm not going to read this one, but we have Inanna. This is the Witch of Earth. I believe, I could be wrong, because I haven't studied her energy enough, but I believe that Inanna is one that has some correlation to Lilith. So based on Belial, based on hearing his name and this message of Inanna, kind of thinking about the energy of Lilith as well. If you work with left-hand path or something like that, then maybe that is a confirmation to you about this energy. Okay. So again, I'm not going to read that one, but we have here. I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm so sorry. I don't even know if I should try. I'm so sorry. I cannot pronounce. Aztec or Mayan names. I can't. So this is the world card, and this is this goddess here. Okay. So let's read who this goddess is and what her message is. Okay. Sorry again. Okay, so sorry, this may be a little lengthy, but it's important, I feel. So this is the Aztec mother of creation. It says, a single manifestation holds a multitude of being. Forgive me, I'm not going to pronounce her name, I'm going to say she. Okay, so it says her name, and then it says, whose name means she of the serpent skirt, which I did notice that looking here. I did notice the serpent skirt. Okay, she of the serpent skirt is the Aztec earth goddess and the mother of creation. She is the mother of the gods, the sun, the moon, and the stars. She creates life and she receives the dead. She is the full circle of initiation and completion. She is one of many, for she has 4 sisters. She is a 5-fold goddess. She is the 5-fold earth with her 4 directions plus the center axis to make the whole. So I just thought of a pentacle. A pentacle, each point represents the different elements, and one of the points symbolizes spirit. So I'm thinking about that. It could be a symbol of balance and protection and creation as well. Where was I? For directions, the earth is sunlit and moonlit. The earth is mother and murder. The serpent, like the earth, has a dark side and a light side. As creature of the underworld and as bringer of wisdom. So I did get the sense that if this message is resonating with you, that some of you maybe may like to work with or learn about certain what most would say are darker energies, ancient energies, pre-modern religion energies, or pre-Abrahamic religion energies, I will say. Underworld energy. Her skirt of many snakes symbolizes her legendary fertility. She brings forth children as a virgin, either completely on her own or after touching feathers or jade stones or love charms delivered from the magicians of the sun to woo her. Her breasts are flabby and hang low from having nursed her hundreds of children, The goddess is also the grieving mother who sees her children at war and mourns their death, and she is the devourer. Her face is skull-like. Her hands and feet have claws for digging out graves, and she feeds on corpses. I just thought of Lilith again. And there is a Lilith card in this deck. She didn't come out, but I just thought of her original depiction of Lilith, with her clawed feet, which is interesting because I was also getting her kind of energy. This isn't Lilith. Maybe there's some correlation between the two. I don't know that personally, but about her giving birth to the children and all of that, like Lilith is also known as a mother energy, giving birth to many demons, they say. Incubi, succubi. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you work with Belial, maybe you work with Lilith, maybe you work with Inanna, I don't know. But if you do, it'd be interesting to know how this is correlating. Okay. The earth gives birth to all that lives, consumes all that dies, and does both insatiably and perpetually. Behind her is a representation of the Aztec calendar stone, showing cycles of time in the color of blood. So interesting, because we mentioned the world card came out. What are the card? The fucking Wheel of Fortune came out. Okay, so this is again about cycles. Remember? She is feared because she brings darkness from the underworld to swallow up life. She is beloved because she is the flower-covered earth in spring. Her power is rooted, bountiful, and profound. Her aid is invoked to keep the teeming jungle at bay, while at the same time encouraging crops to grow. She is abundant life, but life that comes with limits, life that comes with the recognition of death. So again, you cannot have a beginning without having an end. That is, whether we like it or not, that's just the cycle of life. You don't like it, too bad. Well, that's life. So this is her message now. You have done what you need to do and have been what you need be. Your life has come together in this moment to say that service has been enough. It is time to live according to your own rules. Take leadership of your life. Invite her all-encompassing power into your day by adding cayenne, Cayenne, allspice, or chocolate to your morning coffee or tea. Interesting. Look for intelligence in overall design and longevity in performance when acquiring material objects. If the situation were a multiple choice question, the answer would be all of the above. Your life is all these things. Since you have not yet exploded, you are more capable than you realize, more capable than you know, Realize and get on with it. Get creative in small, ordinary ways. Try new food, wear a different color, hang a picture, make mud pies with children. Make time for something beautiful to happen in your world every single day. Thank you, Mother of Creation. Okay. Whew. So, life and death, transformation, rebirth. What this is saying is, despite your past here, again, it is important to acknowledge that there's always going to be some bad shit going around, but there's always going to be beautiful things too. It's your choice to what you perceive, what you try to focus on. I heard of Belial again. Perception. When I think of perception, I think of Lucifer's light, the bearer of light, bringing knowledge unto humanity. Are you going to acknowledge this light within you? Are you going to realize your full potential? Are you going to keep playing small? Keep blaming your past, keep blaming other people, your parents, your family, your exes, your whatever. It's easier said than done. But if you continue to perpetuate the bullshit, you will be stuck in cycles and you will miss out on beautiful opportunities in life. And she is saying to acknowledge. You cannot have a new beginning without an end to something. There are always going to be cycles in life. You cannot deny that. You cannot override that. Life cannot continue without that happening. That is the cycle of life. That is a part of life. That is universal law. Find balance and know that you have the power to create. Which is interesting too, because in this deck, maybe I'll show you. This goddess has both her hands up, and her palms have blue. Blue is making me think of the throat chakra. Perhaps work on your throat chakra and your heart chakra. Okay, but also working within illuminating yourself, your higher chakras. It's important to find balance and make sure that we are balanced when doing those things, so that we can get accurate messages. Where is she? Okay. So I was going to mention, you know how I mentioned Lilith earlier? When I saw both of her hands up like this, I thought about this depiction of Lilith. And this is the Lilith card in this deck. I'm not going to read it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it because I feel like it's relevant. I mentioned Lilith. I mentioned Belial. Okay, so I'm going to skip about her since her card didn't come out, and I'm just going to share her message. It says, in darkness, fears and monsters multiply. Use your imagination to entertain yourself, not harm yourself. Know where you are pushing the boundaries about what is reasonable, even while knowing that some things will never make sense. In darkness, power hides. Know it, face it, release it, work it. Quit hiding from yourself all that you are and all that you feel. It is time to quit compromising your soul. Dark desires do not have to be acted out in illicit ways to be useful for creation or motivation. Denial does not illuminate the darkness. In this world, sex and death come intertwined. They exist one with another to bring endless variety to life. You cannot have life without death. You need to face yourself. You need to face your fears. Again, I'm thinking about Belial. Like, face yourself, face your fears. The energies that are with you may be known as darker energies. There's nothing wrong with that. Just learn. Everything in life is meant to be a lesson. Learn from it. Whether it's dark or light, has a lesson to teach us. But you have a lesson to teach yourself when you look in the mirror, when you face yourself, finding all of the little, acknowledging all the intricacies and all the little things that make you beautiful and unique, and releasing and healing all of the things that attach to you, that keep you stuck and feeling like you're not good enough. Okay, so let's move on to the Witch's Oracle. Ooh. Immediately two cards came out. I'll read both of them for you. Whoa, okay, where was that? Were you guys the ones that got that card? No, you weren't. Okay. Watch one of the other piles. If you felt called to one of the other piles, watch it, because a card that came out with a mirror. Underneath we have mirror 11. This is perception. And I mentioned about Lucifer's light and how Lucifer makes me think of perception. That is a message that I feel that I get from him. Change, transformation. We have a phoenix here. This is about rising to the occasion. This is about acknowledging your power, acknowledging this sacred knowledge in you, acknowledging this, I'm feeling divine feminine. Acknowledge your intuition, your psychic gifts, and acknowledge your higher self. Stop wearing a mask and face your shit. That's what I'm getting here. And then these hearts are making me think of woman parts, if you know what I mean. Because they have they look like that. So again, a lot of divine feminine energy that I'm getting here. 11 is a number of amplifications, a number of alignment. It is a number of purpose. Which is interesting because we have 11, which 1 and 1 make 2, and then we have the bat, which is number 2. It says rebirth in consciousness, and then we have childless fertility. And this is a goddess of fertility, but this is also a goddess of rebirth, because she is a goddess of life and death. So this perfectly represents all of this energy here about change, transformation, life and death. So there's more about the moon, lunar energy. If you want to work with lunar energy, especially full moon or new moon, work with it. Release work, I have heard, is best with full moons. New moons are best for bringing in new energy. We have here the lotus. Lotus bloom. They grow from murky, dark water. You don't see through. You don't see through it. Lotus bloom out of the darkness, out of what is murky and muddied, what is known as dirty and filth. I saw 4440. 444 may be a significant number to you. 4 is about stability. 4 and 4 make 8. 8 is about cycles. Again, the Wheel of Fortune, cycles. The World card, cycles. The lotus is about illumination, about expansion, about enlightenment, growth, rebirth, transformation. Come out of this darkness, seeing your light. Despite if there's no lights around you, know that you have this light within you, because you are a light being, even if you are dark. You know what I mean? 3, chalice. Interesting. Essentially 1, even though this is 11, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3 is a number to me that signifies like full energy, like getting started, just taking a leap of faith, doing what you need to do. But also sometimes I kind of feel like I might think of Lucifer or something, and then I see 1, 2, 3, or a synchronicity or some kind of a combination of that number. So again, I feel like for you guys who pick pile 3, maybe a chunk of you guys actually work with the left-hand path, or work with these demonized energies. Chalice is about fertility, acknowledging where you have come from. We see here the river. The river is always flowing. It goes with the flow. It bends to the earth. It flows with the earth. This is about going with the flow. Filling your own cup, loving yourself, knowing that you're good enough. Seeing your own light, acknowledging your own beauty. Coming to alignment. Push yourself to learn new things. This is about abundance. These big ass fucking, what are these, like pine cones? These big ass pine cones are a symbol of birth, rebirth, planting the seeds to your abundance, to receive what it is that you desire. Dove symbolizes peace, light, illumination, love. You need to give yourself the love, the illumination. You need to believe in yourself and your path. If it feels right to you, as long as you do as I will, harm none, but take no shit. To the good of all and harm of none. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick 3 dice and I'm gonna roll them for random numbers. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have 2 in reverse, 3 kind of sideways, and 14 also at a diagonal. So 2, unity. It's in reverse. Bringing back to awareness of 2. You are struggling to rebirth a new consciousness within yourself, to birth out of the darkness, to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But you need to. I mean, if you choose to. But that is what will help you on your path. That is what will help you evolve within your soul. Just because we're all living this game of life doesn't mean that we evolve There are people who are already at the end of their life expectancy and they're still immature and still hate everyone and still like, just because you're old or older doesn't mean that you know shit. With life comes experiences, and through those experiences, it is our choice to learn from them, to allow them to destroy us or to make us. That is a choice. At that point, that is when we learn and become wise. Just because someone's old doesn't mean they're wise. There's a lot of old people walking around ignorant as fuck because they're just immature. The ones that are wise, the ones that have the story to tell of an actual event and how they overcame it, is because they learned how to overcome it. And they share that message because they have become wise, because they learned through those experiences. The darkness that happens to you happens for you to face it so that you can become better. Even if you don't work with left-hand path, even if you don't like working with darker energies or demons or whatever you want to call them, even if you believe in God and you're a Christian or whatever, doesn't it also say that God will never put you through something that you are not capable of handling? It's the same shit. This is the same shit. The energies that you work with know what you are capable of. They want to help you. Whether you see them as light or dark doesn't matter. What matters is that they are teachers. If you choose to learn from them, they will help you learn and evolve and grow. Just because you're living this human game of life doesn't mean that you're learning and growing and evolving. You have to face your shit. You have to learn from your past. You have to learn from the pain. And in the darkness, you have to illuminate yourself. Okay? Sorry, my alarm went off. I have shit to do. I'm way over time. But 14, 4, and 1 make 5. 5 is about change. Again, I'm thinking about Belial. The illumination here, 2 and 3. So thinking about 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Making me think of Lucifer, for example. There needs to be a lot of changes that you incorporate into your life for better things to come. 3 is the magician energy. And didn't you get the magician, I believe, somewhere? I thought, yeah, here, magician energy. So 3 is not the number of the magician, number of magicians, number 1, but it is that energy of creation, life, death, and rebirth. Body, mind, and soul. Think about it how you want to. It's the Trinity, okay? So, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I hope that these messages resonated and brought you some clarity and perspective into your situation. And I wish you all the very best. I hope to see you in the next one. If anything, feel free to contact me. Information, disclaimers, decks, always in the description box down below. I may be a little antisocial and kind of slow to respond, but if it is something like relevant to readings or different things like that, then I'll get to you faster. Okay, so thank you all so very much. I just saw 133. So again, remember your power. Take your power back, okay? That's a message from the left-hand path. Take your fucking power back. Realize your full potential. And don't let anyone or anything stop you. Okay? You are a force to be reckoned with. To the good of all and harm to none. Do as I will, harm none, but take no shit. Okay? I love you guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.